models and provides personalized service as they have for 15 years. With the school year here, A1 Automotive reminds you that college students get 10% off any service, and they offer free tire repair with a valid college ID. Schedule your appointment today at a1autolincoln.com and visit their new location in South Lincoln at 5110 State Hill Drive or downtown at 11th and L.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Call the trial attorneys you can trust. 877-42-LIBERTY.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's schwissow.com.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs has been a trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikesrolloffs.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Roll-Offs, cleanup made simple.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Breaking here at the news desk. When you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, you can lock in your price for 2 years. Sources are confirming that when you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, your monthly price drops and you're locked in for 2 years. That's fiber fast internet, premium streaming TV, and reliable nationwide mobile coverage. And this just in, you must switch by Labor Day to secure that locked-in pricing for 2 years. Switch, stack, and save at allofiber.com/stack.
Bring new life to metal treasures with Kaiser Blasting and Coatings. From railings and fences to outdoor furniture and unique antiques, their expert team removes years of rust and weathering, then finishes each piece with a lasting powder coat. Trusted by industries across the region, now local homeowners and businesses can experience the same professional care. Visit KaiserBlasting.com or call 402-421-3559 to request your quote. Restore, protect, and make your metal shine like never before with the help of Kaiser Blasting and Coatings.
Gainett Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gainett Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gainett Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainettTrucking.com.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in. Harrison Arens still on the ones and twos as always, 6 o'clock and past, usually up all the way until midnight. Keeping it live here. We do got NFL on the brick and mortar. So if you guys are listening, congratulations. That means you found me already. If other people are looking for it, again, use the app, Ticket app. Just go ahead and download that. It keeps all the local stuff here, especially when we have the other satellites for college football, NFL taking over, and possibly some other stuff down the road as well. I don't want to spoil anything, but nonetheless, 402-464-5685. You guys are always welcome to join in. You can comment on the streams as well. We're going to keep talking some college football because it was a crazy day in college football. And there's some things that I'm starting to notice a little bit more and more, and I'm curious if those are going to be trends, but we'll kind of go the game through game here. And if we want, we can always go back to talking some more Husker footballs. Again, we got the entire hour solo, so I'd like to open up to you guys, but I can always ramble as well. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive into it. The Nebraska game versus Michigan State, not going to talk a lot on that. Did a lot of that already in that first hour with Tom Chattel of the Omaha World Herald. Always appreciate him giving his thoughts here on the airwaves, but just a really impressive win for Nebraska. I'll say, again, you found a way to win the game. That's the most important. I'm always a little bit amazed and shocked by some people's anger, despite a win after. There's things to critique. I'm not saying it's all kumbaya and let's all celebrate and act like we are the most perfect thing that God's ever created. No, we can critique some issues on this football team, but they found a way to win. And how many times in the past do the guys just not find a way to win, to let the bad thing be the thing? The bad thing wasn't the thing. The thing was that they found a way to overcome the bad thing. And that's the story that's different about Nebraska football this year, is it just does not end when the bad thing happens. All right. They find a way to rebalance themselves. And I talked about it with Tom Chattel. I get to the game and we're up 7-0 already because I was doing the pregame show. We get the blocked punt, 14-0. Wow, we look great. 21 unanswered by Michigan State. Pretty bad turnover in there as well by Dylan Raiola. I'd say his worst turnover of the year so far. Just didn't see the guy. Happens, not great, but happens sometimes. And they responded. Like that did not derail the game. Michigan State scoring 14 unanswered. In return, Nebraska scored 21 unanswered points. So like that's kind of the difference that I'm talking about, is although we can talk about how bad it was while Michigan State was on that run, getting 14 points unanswered, and it just felt like Nebraska couldn't do anything right. Usually that's how the story would start spiraling out, and it would just keep spiraling. It would not come to a conclusion other than a loss. So that's always where I understand when you look at teams like Indiana and Kurt Cignetti, you want to be that right now. That's not normal. I mean, it's just not. And I don't know if Kurt Cignetti's normal either. If you want to make an argument, maybe we should have hired Kurt Cignetti. Maybe. But that guy's just in a realm of his own right now. Just really impressive over there, and how those guys are doing it. Look, you can't copy and paste all the time. Kurt Cignetti is going to coach his way. Matt Rule's coaching his way. And the way this team's being built right now, it looks a lot better than ones have been in years past. So I'm not just going to be, comparing Matt Rule to these incredible other coaches like a Kurt Cignetti who come out of the woodwork, because they found a way to win the game. And that's all I really care about at the end of the day, is winning the game. Michigan game, frustrating, but you found a way to bounce back and you beat Michigan State at home, and you make that home record. Again, we're at least 1-0 right now. Can they keep winning games at home and make Memorial Stadium a place that's intimidating to come play at? I'll never forget the Michigan game. This is when Adrian Martinez was our quarterback, and we were pushing Michigan to the ropes. It was a really impressive fight by Nebraska, but this is the first time we broke out the Thunderstruck light show, and Michigan was just having a blast. They were loving it. They were having so much fun out there, and that maybe is always going to happen, but I just kind of felt like, boy, not a lot of teams super scared of playing in Nebraska. And it's not because the fans aren't loud. It's not because the fans don't show up, because that's anything but true. But, that's usually a place that other teams lately have had more success winning there than not. It doesn't have the same place like, well, boy, you're going into Happy Valley. And I know Oregon just kind of beat them there. Or we were going into Washington. And I know Ohio State just beat them on the road. So that streak came to an end. And, you're got to go play a really, really good Georgia team. And I know Alabama beat Georgia this year, so that streak came to an end. But despite all those guys taking losses at home, the point I'm trying to make was they were racking up so many wins at those places over and over and over. I mean, that's how you have those consistently good seasons. That's how James Franklin, despite never winning the big one, always has like at least 9 wins, because they just don't lose games at home. It's how Georgia, although they might have a toss-up every now and then to a game, to an Alabama, they don't lose at home very often, to the point where they had the longest active streak in college football for a while, and then Washington second. So those are the things that they can make a difference. And Nebraska, to get that win over Michigan State when things felt like they were going south, to not spiral and not let that be the headline when we all woke up on Sunday morning was huge. Just because, again, most people in my age bracket, again, I'm 26, you've seen those games go south way more often than not. And a lot of us grew up seeing the Bo Pelini era, but a lot of us were even too young to fully understand that that team was good because everybody around us was just kind of talking negative things, especially towards the later end. And that was maybe like somewhat of a comfort expectation. And then when it went away, the memories I had, when I was younger, Nebraska was winning more often than not. It just became the time period where I was not fully mature, but matured enough to have like consistent memories. All those memories were not good football. So that's kind of the part where people like me who kind of grew up in that area look at this team and then just get the win, and figure out a way to have enough poise to come out on top. And that's what they did. We can talk about the 40 minutes where the offense wasn't even on the field. We can talk about the offensive line play and getting fooled on simple stunts at times, sometimes twice in a row on back-to-back plays. That happened on the third and, I don't even know. Three sacks in a row. We were backed up plenty after that Marnie punt return. But I just think the most important thing is you found a way to win the game. And Nebraska football, for the longest time, just has not been able to do that. So you're sitting here. It's a hell of a lot better than having 2 losses. You only have the 1 loss, and you only lost by 3 points to a Michigan team who's good. Maybe not the strongest Michigan team we've seen in a while, but they're good enough to beat just about anybody. And maybe that's a little strong, but they're good enough to probably find a way to beat Ohio State, or at least get close, because they've been doing that over and over and over. But nonetheless, that's all I got on Husker football. Again, the most important thing, which is obvious, you just find a way to win the game. The other part, the poise. Bad stuff happens. Dylan Raiola has the poise to make the big play, to make things look better. And then all of a sudden the wide receivers feed off that. And then you're seeing big plays from Emmett Johnson, and everybody starts feeding off of each other, but it takes a leader in Dylan Raiola and just the poise from everybody else on the team to lock in and not panic. And that to me has been the biggest growth of this team so far. It's just the poise. Other games across college football. Interesting weekend. We'll quickly talk about Penn State as well, just because that is a game where, listen, it's not one that anybody expected, but I was kind of hinting to this at the end with Tom Chattel of the Omaha World Herald. I think this is where college football is. Not that we should expect a game like this every week. We are going to have these underperforming teams with a 5-star caliber talent, with a guy in Nico Yamaleva. If I'm pronouncing it, it's always a tough one to try to rattle off, but he's the guy who I know didn't look great, but he was a 5-star for a reason. He was paid a ton of money by UCLA for a reason, because he can do things like that, who can put that type of game together and find a way to beat the Penn State Nittany Lions, who you can make the argument they're licking their wounds a little bit. They still got the hangover for the loss. Well, that's not their problem, and they were right to take advantage of it in a really, really impressive win. So, I mean, they had that game on at Memorial Stadium, and there was a lot of chatter when everybody was looking at, they kept bringing up the score, obviously during breaks, and everyone just kept talking more and more like, oh man, UCLA might really pull this thing off, especially when, what was it? I think it was, 27-7 at half. I mean, the UCLA Bruins were just putting it on them. And then in the second half, Penn State puts themselves together. They score 14 and then they score 16 compared to UCLA Bruins. They only scored 15 points in that second half. And they find Penn State puts up 30 in that second half. They double what they had. But the problem was 2 weeks in a row now, Penn State starts slow. And UCLA took full advantage of that. And they put up a bunch of points in the hurry, and Penn State was kind of back reeling. And then the part to where I think a lot of people were frustrated and they really wanted to call out James Franklin and fire him right there and spend the $50+ million on the buyout. The end of the half, I don't know what they were doing. If you're Penn State, what are you doing? They don't use any timeouts. They don't try to hurry up with the ball at all. They just settled going into the half 7-27. And it's not like they were at their goal line. They had an opportunity with enough time on the clock to go make some plays and get some points on the board before the half ends. And they just didn't care to let the time roll. Just wanted to talk about it before they went and did it. Bizarre situation. And that's where I think James Franklin probably got the most heat, was just clock management, timeout management. At the end of that first half, you can't just go in being down 20 points with your tail tucked and just being content with, we'll figure it out later. Like you got time right now, and now would be a great opportunity to get some confidence before going into the half, because you lost by 5 points. If you score a touchdown, you might have won that game, but you just settled with 7 points. It was the most bizarre thing I've seen out of James Franklin. Why they didn't want to try to push for the points, why they were so nonchalant about preserving some clock, made zero sense to me. But that's what they did. And then they go to the half with 7 points, and then they lose the game by 5 points. Even a field goal would have done something. I know they lost by 5, but maybe a field goal gives you some more confidence, and you get an extra 3 points and get another field goal in that second half. But just bizarre. That's what drove a lot of people nuts. And again, Drew Aller for that game, he was 19 for 26, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. Nico Iamaleava, he was 166 yards, 17 for 24, 2 touchdowns, 0 picks. Neither quarterback played a bad game. The thing that was most surprising about Penn State was the defense. You can talk about Drew Aller and how he's supposed to be this guy. And listen, nobody on Penn State was good that day, or at least at their best. I shouldn't say good, but nobody was certainly at their best. Drew Aller was the only reason they had a fighting chance. I do think there's something going on with their offense where it just doesn't look like it fits that team properly at times. They had a play, they tried to run it to the outside, and I think it was a decision for Drew Aller where he could have pulled it or ran it, and he decided to give it to the back, and they get -7 yards on it. And then later in the game, they really need that play. They really need that play to move the chains. They went back to the play that got them -7 yards. So that's the stuff with Penn State that's a little bit mind-numbing when you try to explain a loss like this. So it's not, UCLA just walked into a really weak Penn State team. I mean, UCLA deserves a lot of credit. They played good. Their wide receivers looked good. The offensive line did better than I think a lot of people are anticipating. And Penn State just, kind of walked in maybe expecting a win, and that wasn't the case. So Nittany Lions, they take their second loss. They're 3-2 in the Big Ten. And it's just crazy to look at UCLA, who really had no hope in that game. And that might be not the right word, because if you're a UCLA, you're going out there knowing that you got nothing to lose. So maybe that's the hope for them right there. Like, listen, we're 0-4. No one expects us to beat Penn State. The only thing that can happen out of this is good things and a little bit of bad. If we lose, a little bit of bad, it's going to suck. We don't want to lose, but no one's going to be absolutely shocked that us without a head coach who's 0-4, who's struggling, who has one of the worst home crowd advantages in all of the country, lost to a top 10 Penn State team. On the flip side of that, we got nothing to lose. We'll just go out there and do it. We'll try. We'll throw everything at him. I mean, if no one expects us to win, who really cares if we try something and it blows up on our face? Because we have to do something. We're not going to be able to walk in here and beat these teams. So that's what works for UCLA. It's the classic Creed movie, and Rocky says it to Creed is, if you got nothing to lose, you're dangerous. Classic quote, classic Rocky quote, but it's absolutely true. Teams that got nothing to lose are teams you don't want to play, because those teams will do everything they can, throw everything they can, and they will do it without shame because they are in that situation and they need to. Really impressive by them. Miami, they beat Florida State. Pretty impressive win by Miami. I think on the road playing Florida State's always a tough environment. And again, Miami looking like one of the better teams in the country, 5-0. And in that game, Carson Beck, 20 for 27, 241 yards, 4 touchdowns. Castellanos for Florida State wasn't great. 2 touchdowns, but he threw 2 picks as well. And the rushing yards, 16 carries, but only 57 yards. If that's my running back, it happens. If that's my quarterback, that's a lot of yards to be taken and not a lot of on the ground. I want those to be a little bit more explosive. He's got a unique game, so I don't want to over critique him. Sometimes those plays are going to work great. Sometimes, you get games like this where nothing crazy explosive, but you move the chains a few times to keep your team in it. But I mean, Beck was just phenomenal. He's going to keep making a run for the Heisman if he keeps having games like this. You're looking at Indiana's quarterback. You're looking at Dante Moore. Might be a few more in there if, Dylan Rail and kind of inflate his numbers a little bit. I'd say, obviously you want to get rid of some of those interceptions, get some more touchdowns in there, but he could still get back in the race if especially if Nebraska keeps winning games. But right now, I mean, just really impressive win for Miami on the road as they maintain a perfect record 5-0, and Florida State now takes their second loss of the season. So you got Penn State 2 losses, Florida State 2 losses, and Texas sitting in there with 2 losses. Those are 3 teams: Florida State, Texas, Penn State. They're kind of already on their strike 3 earlier in the season, which is really surprising for not so much Florida State. Castellanos has been a pleasant fit there, where I don't think anybody thought he didn't have talent, but the fit there makes total sense, and he's great, perfect fit for him. It's the other teams like Texas where you're like, some people said I knew it. Some people are saying, I was kind of listening to you guys telling me that Arch Manning is this super incredibly polished guy. It's not just the last name. We see him in practice. He can do all the things. Did not look good versus another tough opponent in Florida. After the UTEP game, I think that's where people first kind of got it in their hearts where, oh, we might be in trouble. You know, Arch Manning is struggling versus a UTEP team who, nothing against UTEP, but just you're not playing against nearly as great athletes as you are when you're going up against obviously tougher teams like a Florida. And that showed. He did not look good. 16 for 29, 263 yards, average of 9, but 2 touchdowns and 2 picks. And, you know, some of the one pick in particular was just really bad because he underthrew it. The guy was open, but he just didn't have his feet set. And you could felt like he was getting a little bit discombobulated and was losing his cool, knowing that, maybe thinking about what the headlines are going to be already. But 29-21, Texas loses. DJ Lagway, on the other hand, who started the season not great, was great in this one. 21 for 28, really good stats from him. 298 yards, just short of 300 by a couple of yards. Average of 10.6 per reception, 2 touchdowns, and he did have the 1 pick, but really still super solid game from DJ Lagway. This was the Lagway that people were calling for, that thought he may be a Heisman or he's going to be a Heisman favorite. And there was definitely good reason to believe that. If you watched him last season, he kind of came back alive in this game versus Texas. And that's really impressive because we can talk about Arch Manning not playing great. Texas defense is good. I mean, that's a really, really good defense. And for Florida to do what they did, first off, punch them in the mouth early. You know, that first drive, they go punching in, kind of catch Texas off guard. Texas rattles back. They score. But then they just kept going. You know, really good game for Florida. Again, not to lose their cool. When you have a guy like DJ Lagway who kind of finds his rhythm again, that team becomes really, really dangerous. It's not like they don't have good athletes. It just wasn't clicking for whatever reason early into the season. And now it's clicking. And now Florida is looking a little bit more dangerous. And we can talk about the bad offensive part of Texas that maybe really hurt them in this game, that caused the loss. But that's a really good performance from Florida's offense to put some yards on that Texas defense. Again, a team who Ohio State only scored 14 points. Florida put up 29. That's a great win for those guys. And for DJ Lagway to, again, almost throw for 300 yards, that's the direction you like to see coming. So big game for them. Manning, you're just not really sure what it looks like at this point. Well, that being said, though, we do got to go ahead and throw the break here. I'm going to keep going solo for 2 more segments, and then we'll have DeMornay Pierce-Nell join me at 8 o'clock. Don't go anywhere. This is Tick Weeknights. Harrison Arens on the ones and twos, going solo. Got 2 more segments. We'll talk to you then.
Harvest season is coming, and Acres has discounted many of our late model John Deere combines. Get thousands in discounts and upgrade for this year's harvest. Plus, you could save even more with interest rates starting as low as 1.9% on select units. Low interest rates combined with our huge discounts, there's not a better time to buy. Visit acres.com for all the details. That's AKRS.com. Restrictions apply. Offer ends August 31st, 2025. Subject to approved financing. Offer may change at any time without notice.
Hey fans, there's more winning at Amigos with the VIP Game Day giveaway. Every app scan is your chance to win premium tickets to a Nebraska football, basketball, and volleyball game, along with exclusive game day perks. And when Nebraska goes to a bowl, the winner also gets 2 tickets, lodging, and airfare to the bowl game. Weekly semifinalists will win free food for a year. Go Big Red. Eat at Amigos and enter to win.
Amigos is celebrating 45 years with exclusive Nebraska Legends collectible cups featuring Tom Osborne, John Cook, and some of your favorite Huskers. For every cup sold, 50 cents goes to teammates. Show your big red pride by getting all 4 of these collectible cups at Amigos.
This is Tom Osborne with the Teammates Mentoring Program. We have students on the waiting list for a mentor. We want you to join the team. Learn more about mentoring and support teammates by visiting Amigos.
An overdose can happen in front of you and you might not realize it. Blue lips, slowed breathing, pinpoint pupils, choking sounds, unresponsive to touch or sounds. These signs aren't always obvious, but they can be deadly. Knowing what to do could save your friend, your neighbor, your child. Learn more by visiting myhealthymind.crediblemmind.com so you can be ready before it happens. This message is funded in part by the CDC OD2A grant.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion, for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Limitless Male says, it's all fun and games until your testosterone plummets. Testosterone levels can start falling as early as age 30 with symptoms like no energy, poor sleep, brain fog, belly fat, muscle loss, and mood swings. If this sounds familiar, get your testosterone checked at Limitless Male. We'll get you back in the game with more strength, energy, and confidence. When you feel this good, you'll wonder why you waited so long to get a free consult at Limitless Male. Get scheduled today.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to SmokingGunJerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Back to the Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in. Second segment, Harrison Arns still going solo. Went a little bit long on the first one, so this will be a little bit shorter, about 10 minutes. But we're going to keep talking football, a little bit NFL, mostly college football. The Kansas City Chiefs currently facing off against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who you would never believe it. At this point in the season, Jacksonville Jaguars have a better record than the Kansas City Chiefs. Nobody would have said that, at this point in the season or predicted it. Week 5 of the NFL, and the Jaguars are the ones with a better record than the Chiefs. Chiefs are 2-2. Jaguars are 3-1. And, I said it earlier, like this might be a really bad Monday night game. Let me give the Jaguars some credit. They're 3-1. This is a team who a lot of people were down on, me including, just because I don't like all the players, but just Trevor Lawrence, I wasn't sure what his ceiling was. If he was like kind of starting to get to that point to where, do you move on? Like, is he the right guy? Can he do it? Or is this just a situation where plug in anybody and it's going to be a struggle? And I think that you're starting to see those guys settle in a little bit. And currently he's 1 of 3, 12 yards, 7 minutes in the first quarter. Game really just started here. Etienne's only got a couple carries, and Patrick Mahomes 5 for 6 with 50 yards. Chiefs have the ball, 1st and 10 at the Jacksonville 39. So I'll give you score updates on that one, but just an interesting matchup. Again, Jaguars being 3-1, Chiefs 2-2. There's been a few teams this year. It's just been odd. Ravens, for obvious example, and a really tough when Lamar Jackson's being hurt, but they got blown out by the Texans, and now they're sitting there. Oh, what are they now? 1-4. Then we double check on the good old Baltimore Ravens. Really struggling this year. Baltimore Ravens are, in fact, 1-4. Yeah, just really tough. And again, when you're in that game where you just don't have Lamar Jackson, tough to do. If anything, it tells you how good Lamar Jackson is and how important he is to that team. They are struggling to do much without him out there. That's all I really got on the NFL. Like I said, I'm going to keep giving you score updates if I do see them pop up, but I'll definitely talk a lot more NFL tomorrow once week 5 of the NFL is officially wrapped up and over. And kind of go back to the college side of football here for a bit and go through some of these other scores that we haven't talked about yet. Clemson, they beat North Carolina. I mean, it's a tough start for Bill Belichick and the Tar Heels. You got to remember, this is a team that put together like probably 70 new dudes in 1 year, a lot through the transfer, a lot through high school. And if you're expecting cohesion in very smooth operations year 1, you're probably asking too much. And that's exactly what it looks like right now. Just things aren't clicking well. Not saying that it's totally okay to keep getting blown out, but I'm just saying I'm not surprised that this team doesn't look very good, at least of right now. I don't know where I'm at with Bill Belichick. I don't know if he's going to be able to pull it off down there, but I'm just not surprised that year 1 is not going great. Clemson, though, great win. They needed it. They need some more of these wins to just kind of get that confidence back. I mean, 3 losses, they're pretty much out of it already. But I mean, if you can, oh boy. I mean, one of the losses to LSU, so it's not terrible, and you lost by 7. But the Syracuse loss is going to be a tough one to explain. So I don't think, Syracuse, they're 3-1. They're, 3-3, not great. So, okay. Yeah, that one's not going to look great no matter what, really. But you got Boston College, SMU, Duke, Florida State, Louisville, Furman, and South Carolina. You really got maybe 2 games where you can get some brownie points back. You're kind of in a just play for yourselves at this point and try to get to a good bowl game. And maybe, just maybe, you can sneak in with 3 losses. But it's tough. I mean, 11th in the ACC right now. Just good for those guys to kind of get back on track with winning, especially knowing the conversations around Dabo Swinney and people not being super pleased with how this year's gone so far for him. In some Big Ten games, Illinois, they beat Purdue. They bounced back after getting embarrassed by Illinois. They win it 43-27 over Purdue. A game that you should be expected to win. You got a new head coach and Odom down there in West Lafayette for the Purdue Boilermakers. And you got Illinois and Brett's crew, and they're trying to kind of keep that consistency. I keep saying with Indiana, they're just really good. Kurt Cignetti is going to be a problem for a long time. And they got outcoached. They got outplayed. Indiana's really good. So good game for Illinois to bounce back. Sitting there 22 in the country. A nice win for those guys over Purdue. Michigan beats Wisconsin. A little bit closer than I think maybe people anticipated in the first half. I think it was 10-7. Michigan was only up by 3. But as the game went on, same thing that kind of happens with everyone. Michigan starts leaning on you more and more and more, and then things start kind of becoming 5, 10, 15, 20-yard runs before you know it, and then one's up the sideline to the house. So Michigan kind of played their same brand of ball. They didn't change it up. Despite being, close at the end of the first half, they kind of kept being Michigan, and it worked out in their favor. Wisconsin's sitting there 2-3. You know, you can keep doing this, play the game. When's their next win on the season? I don't know. Do they win a game before the end of the season? I'd say yes, but I really don't know. Because we talked about this before the season started. We all talked about this. Look at Wisconsin's schedule. And then when they beat Miami, Ohio, 17-0, and who is this? Yeah, Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders. They beat those guys convincingly, as you should, 42-10. You knew this Alabama game was going to come up, and you knew that last season Wisconsin didn't go bowling, so you knew they're a little bit down on what they used to be, as always. And having Alabama in there, who's kind of caught their mojo back, started the downfall, and it's been continuing. You lose to Bama, you lose to Maryland, you lose to Michigan. Maryland's not bad, but you lost to 27-10. You weren't even close. All right, Terrapins. They beat you pretty bad, more so than Michigan beat you. So you found some confidence. You know, you checked yourself after Maryland, but it still wasn't good enough for Michigan. Now you have Iowa. At least it's at home. Then you have Ohio State. At least it's at home. Then you have Oregon on the road. Washington, who's not half bad. Indiana, who I just talked about, terrifying. On the road. Illinois, at home, and Minnesota. On the road, who you lost to. They might not win another game this season. And if that's the case, I just don't know what you do. When you have a team that's down that bad and you only win 2 non-conference games and you lose every conference game. Things are not great for the Wisconsin Badgers right now. But Michigan, good win for them. They continue their record after being 4-1. Obviously, they had a tough loss earlier in the season. Other games, early in the game, a lot of people noticed this one for obvious reasons. Cincinnati took down number 14, Iowa State, 5-1. Iowa State now was 5-0 again. Remember, they had that week 0 game all the way up in Dublin, and Cincinnati, Sorsby continues to just look really, really good. And the thing that's always interesting about Iowa State is Beck's a really good quarterback. I mean, he's going to keep you in those games. And he was 30 for 48, threw for over 300 yards, had 2 touchdowns, and did not turn the ball over. Really good stats from him. He's the reason they keep staying in these games or winning games by quite a bit. Sorsby, 13 for 25, 214 yards, 2 touchdowns. On the ground, 9 carries, 64 yards. And Evan Pryor, though, the running back, he had 10 carries for 111 yards. This was a really good game just from the run game perspective for Cincinnati. Really kind of just started throwing their weight around, winning in the trenches. And then Beck's, just as good as he is offensively, was doing enough to keep scoring points. At one point, it looked like, boy, Cincinnati might run away with this one in a blowout. But again, a lot of credit goes to Iowa State, and they kept battling through it. It wasn't enough at the end there, but it makes that score a lot closer. And for all of us Husker fans, great win for Cincinnati. I mean, man, we'll keep rooting for those guys. Those guys want to win the Big 12. We're all there for it. We'll cheer. Maybe I'll even buy a T-shirt. But really impressive stuff from Cincinnati as they continue to, stay undefeated outside of that loss to Nebraska. And they might be a Big 12 favorite after that win versus Iowa State, if not already. Minnesota loses to Ohio State in some more Big 10 games, 3-42. Wasn't close. Not a lot to talk about in that one. Penn State, UCLA, we already talked about that one. Texas, Florida, we mentioned. Alabama, they do beat Vanderbilt. I know that was a game that Diego Pavia was really hyping up. Big win for them last year for Vanderbilt to beat Alabama, but this year, Alabama certainly got the revenge, and the Boar might have calmed the waters a little bit here. I know it was a really rocky start, and it's almost always impossible to fill those shoes when you got a guy like Nick Saban leaving. But, I mean, listen, look at what he's done this year. You lose that first game to Florida State, and I'm guilty of this. I'm in that party like, looks like the road's over for Alabama. The dynasty comes to an end, or at least the consistent greatness comes to an end. Maybe even being good comes to an end. Then they get right versus UL Monroe, 73-0. Not nice, but that's what you're supposed to do to those teams. Then they beat Wisconsin. Again, a game where Wisconsin's not great. You expected them to win it, 38-14. But then the big test came. On the road, Georgia. Can you take down the best winning streak in all of college football? And they said yes. They win it, 24-21. Then they have Vanderbilt, ranked Vanderbilt, by the way, on the road. They win it, 30-14. Now they got Missouri. Missouri came off of a bye, and I talked about this with Tom Stell. They started the season off with 6 home games. And this will be their 6th one versus Bama. So really good opportunity for Alabama to get another big win, and a big opportunity for Missouri to get that staple win they're looking for. That's going to be a game that everyone should circle. You got a 14-10 matchup coming your way. And Missouri's undefeated, and they're at home. Alabama, not undefeated, but they've got their mojo back, or at least it appears to look that way again as they go on the road and beat Georgia, which is the toughest things you can do. And now you followed up by not just beating Vanderbilt, but you do it pretty convincingly as well. Later, they got Tennessee, South Carolina, LSU, Oklahoma. And of course, they got Eastern Illinois in there. As always, they like to sneak that game in there late in the season. And then Auburn. So plenty of big games left on the schedule. 14 to 12, 11 to 6. So if they can avoid that third loss, this team with 2 losses easily gets in. Alabama's been impressive to see the way they've bounced back. Other Big Ten games, I think that pretty much covers Big Ten. Talked about Illinois and Purdue already. You did have Maryland and Washington. Washington 24-20. They do win that one. Northwestern, I didn't realize they had UL Monroe 42-7. Good win for those guys. And that pretty much covers it up. And of course, we talked about Nebraska takes care of Michigan State. So that kind of wraps up some of the other scores across college football. On the last side, we'll dive into a little bit of NFL before we fully dive into the NFL tomorrow. So don't go anywhere. I got one more segment on the other side. Harrison Arens, I will talk to you guys in just a little bit.
Harvest season is coming, and Acres has discounted many of our late model John Deere combines. Get thousands in discounts and upgrade for this year's harvest. Plus, you could save even more with interest rates starting as low as 1.9% on select units. Low interest rates combined with our huge discounts, there's not a better time to buy. Visit acres.com for all the details. That's AKRS.com. Restrictions apply. Offer ends August 31st, 2025. Subject to approved financing. Offer may change at any time without notice.
Hey fans, there's more winning at Amigos with the VIP Game Day giveaway. Every app scan is your chance to win premium tickets to a Nebraska football, basketball, and volleyball game, along with exclusive game day perks. And when Nebraska goes to a bowl, the winner also gets 2 tickets, lodging, and airfare to the bowl game. Weekly semifinalists will win free food for a year. Go Big Red. Eat at Amigos and enter to win.
Amigos is celebrating 45 years with exclusive Nebraska Legends collectible cups featuring Tom Osborne, John Cook, and some of your favorite Huskers. For every cup sold, 50 cents goes to teammates. Show your Big Red pride by getting all 4 of these collectible cups at Amigos.
This is Tom Osborne with the Teammates Mentoring Program. We have students on the waiting list for a mentor. We want you to join the team. Learn more about mentoring and support teammates by visiting Amigos.
An overdose can happen in front of you and you might not realize it. Blue lips, slowed breathing, pinpoint pupils, choking sounds, unresponsive to touch or sounds. These signs aren't always obvious, but they can be deadly. Knowing what to do could save your friend, your neighbor, your child. Learn more by visiting myhealthymind.crediblemmind.com so you can be ready before it happens. This message is funded in part by the CDC OD2A grant.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Limitless Male says it's all fun and games until your testosterone plummets. Testosterone levels can start falling as early as age 30 with symptoms like no energy, poor sleep, brain fog, belly fat, muscle loss, and mood swings. If this sounds familiar, get your testosterone checked at Limitless Male. We'll get you back in the game with more strength, energy, and confidence. When you feel this good, you'll wonder why you waited so long to get a free consult at Limitless Male. Get scheduled today.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Back to the Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. Final segment. As promised, we'll wrap up some NFL here. Score update. Chiefs score 7-2-0 over the Jacksonville Jaguars. 2 minutes, 27 seconds left to go in the first quarter. And I'll keep giving you just the score updates. Obviously, can't call the game for you here, but I'll give you the score updates at the very least. Some other scores just through the weekend, and we will definitely do a deeper dive on this tomorrow. Me and DeMorney Pearsonell certainly will, who is coming up on the next hour. Looking at these games. Chaos. Panthers beat the Dolphins. Colts look unstoppable. They beat the Raiders 40-6. Not even a close contest in that one. Vikings escape the Cleveland Browns. The Cowboys beat the Jets. I guess that one's not surprising at all. Just really pointing out the Cowboys. Commanders, they're getting right. They beat the Chargers 27-10. The Patriots beat the Bills 23-20. And let's see here. Titans beat the Cardinals. Don't want to forget about that one. After a really, really unfortunate situation. Obviously, I don't know why we're still seeing this. How are guys still dropping the ball before they cross the end zone? That's the game right there. They win the game if they don't do that. That leads to a safety. Not only do you lose by a point, you get rid of, that's a 9-point swing. Instead of getting 7 points, you give up 2. Incredible. I don't know how it's 2025 and we still keep seeing that play. They literally did a segment on it in the morning about all the times it's happened. And how incredible that this stuff happens. And then in the Arizona game, I just don't understand it. If you're a high school coach and you see your player do that, you get on him once and you make sure that he never does that again. Because it is the most humiliating thing you can do to yourself. Let alone is it mean to the team. What a nasty thing to do to yourself to bring on that kind of humiliation and just anger and just tough. So I can almost promise you he doesn't do that again, but it's incredible that in the NFL level that there's still some guys that unfortunately have to get that lesson, or even worst case, sometimes have to get it twice. Horrible, just terrible stuff. You really feel almost for him because you could just see him on the sideline after the fact, like how dejected and how horrible he felt. And then of course it's viral. The coach goes over, has talking to him. You guys can decide if it was too much or just all right, but it's tough. It is one of the most self-inflicting wounds you can possibly do to yourself. And that quite literally cost them the game. 9-point swing, you lost by 1 point. And I shouldn't say cost them the game. There's a bunch of plays that cost them the game, but When you have a guaranteed 7 and you give up 2, that's tough to swallow. Broncos, Eagles. Eagles no longer defeated. Broncos win that one 21-17. Not going to talk about it a lot. I'm sure Rav's going to be raving about that later tonight from 9 to 10 o'clock. So be sure to join us for that one. And then Raiders in that Thursday game, really, really crazy game. 49ers find a way to pull it off. One of the most injured rosters out there. It just feels like they don't have anyone ever. Beat the Rams. Rams, they had a couple opportunities. One time they had it in 4th and 1. Didn't get it. They had it in overtime. They're trying to go for it on 4th down. Didn't get it. Maybe they could have went for the field goal, go for the tie. They went for the win. So 49ers just, and yeah, they're sitting there at 4-1 with a roster that's so beat up. I don't think anybody would have predicted it, but just really impressive stuff from those guys. End of the first quarter between the Chiefs and Jaguars. That game, as I said earlier, currently on the brick and mortar, but that is going to go ahead and wrap it up for me. Again, did this hour solo. We talked a lot of college football, crossed over into a little bit of the NFL, but at the end of the first quarter, it is Kansas City Chiefs 7-0 over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Appreciate you guys listening as always. I am Harrison Arens. Don't go anywhere though. We got plenty left here on Ticket Weeknights all the way up until midnight. Just saw DP roll in, so he'll be joining me at 10 o'clock. And of course, the morning Pearsall up next, and then Chris Raff will join me, and then me and DP will wrap things off, send you guys all the way to, well, till the next morning, till we hit officially Tuesday, October 7th. But appreciate you guys listening. Don't go anywhere. We'll keep it rolling right here, 93.7 The Ticket.